Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Gothic Gamer, and welcome to World of Tanks. Now here we have the Stinger Tier 6 Mercenary Light Tank. A good one at that as well. I say this because it's helped me. I'm currently on the Sharpshooter contract, the new Tier 9 Mercenary tank, and I'm currently at Stage 4. Well, Stage 5 really. And the Stinger, it's currently helping me get through that much better than expected. I'm just going to be covering a few of the topics of this new light tank, and when I mean by new light tank, I mean by this is a fucking outdated video because I lost the previous footage, but oh well. This footage would be better anyway, because buying a tank and then going into 2 games counts as a review, totally. So, I'm going to be covering the mobility, the survivability and the firepower of this machine before showcasing you 2 games which I've had. Probably the best games I've had since buying it. Okay, so you can see aesthetically it's built on the AMX-13 chassis. You know it's going to have good mobility because of that. The gun, the 76mm gun, that comes from the T-37, the Tier 6 American light tank. And then the turret, if I am correct, is the Chaffee. Yes, the M24 Chaffee. So, starting with mobility. In the games I have played on this, the engine is fairly good. Now, while its top forward speed is 65 km an hour, I feel it should go a bit faster, but that may be because of ground resistance or something. 6 numbers separated by commas and full stops don't really help me there. I generally don't get it. Anyway, so given the engine, it is capable of reaching a good speed, not its top speed, but a good speed, due to its 27.45 horsepower per ton power ratio. This thing's only 350 horsepower, but that's all it needs. This machine is pretty damn light. Now, moving on to the tracks. As part of mobility, the rotation speed 44 degrees a second. That is not bad at all. Terrain resistance, I haven't got a shit clue what to do about you. But this machine can run rings around tanks. I think this machine is more devastating running rings around tanks, because it's not an autoloader, and we'll get to that on firepower. But right now, due to its mobility, its engine and pretty decent chassis allow it to get from A to B quickly. And, given the small size, quietly. The view range and the detection range isn't too good. That's why I would recommend slapping a camo net on this thing unless you like active scouting, which I do not like. So, moving on to survivability. If you were to take a hit in this machine, which you really shouldn't, it's only got 600 hit points. The max armor that's going to be opposing any incoming shells is 50mm. It's laughable. The only way you're really going to bounce a shot is because it's from a tier 4 tank at plus 400 meters and it hits the side of your turret, like at a dead on 89 degree angle. That's pretty much the only time you're going to bounce. Yes, this is wargaming, yes, RNG exists in this game, but still. So, also, going back on its, for its survivability, getting out from A and going back to B, evading enemy fire or just making a strategic withdrawal, view range 370, can be better. Personally, I slap a camo net and binoculars on this machine because I'm more of a passive scouter than an active scouter. I just don't like that playstyle, if I'm honest. And its rotation speed, 44 degrees a second, you know, in combination with the exact same rotation speed of the tracks, makes this machine good for running rings if you have to. However, based on survivability, this machine is not good. The crew, most of the crew is stationed in the turret. Now in War Thunder, if you took a hit to this, to the side of the turret, you'd pretty much lose your entire crew. That can happen on World of Tanks as well. Not lose your entire crew, but it is possible to have 2 crew members knocked out with the same shot. That hasn't happened to me in this machine, but it has happened with modules, you know, engine and tracks. Pretty damn awkward, especially given the game I was on when that happened. I was the last tank alive trying to carry. From full hit points, then you lose 400 hit points with a dead engine and dead tracks. Cool. Anyway, so yeah, most of your crew's in the turret. Taking shots at the turret is probably either going to damage a gun, observational device maybe, and more importantly, a crew member. You don't want that happening. You want to try and stay out of the line of sight of many tanks. Even if you do get to return fire, don't expect much. Also, speaking of returning fire, the ammo rack of this machine is located at the rear as well, because that's where the turret is as well. You know, it's a fairly small ammo rack. I mean, it's unlikely it's going to get hit from the front, seeing as it's got the driver and the transmission to go through. But even if it does take a hit, you know, your ammo rack's damaged, what are you going to do? You're going to burn a repair kit on it? What if you get your tracks? That's been a question as well. What do you do if you get your tracks blown off and your ammo rack damaged at the same time, and you have a small repair kit? Which one do you burn? Well, what I mean by burn, what would you burn your repair kit on? The tracks or the ammo? It is a tough one. I'd probably say it depends on the tank. So, given on the rest of the survivability, this machine is not the stealthiest. You know, its concealment's only 0.28, but it can be way better than that. That's why I slap a camo net on, because I like to get from A to B, remain at B for a while, in a bush, spotting tanks, and then when they're a bit too close to me, I'll just fire, give my position away and move. Hopefully I'm assuming I'm already in a position to move away. Now, firepower. This 76mm gun, the T94 from the T37. Oh boy. I love it. The reload time of this machine, of this machine of a gun, it's 4.2 seconds. That's the base. You can lower that with food and vents and a gun rammer. Even the relevant crew skills. This machine can take on auto-loading light tanks. And that's exactly what I love to do with this thing. The ammo doesn't do much damage, but by God, it makes up for it. Given the damage, it's usually, if you were to demonstrate in a game that you had 15 penetrating hits, you're going to do about 1,500 damage. You're going to do about 100 damage per shot. So, even though it does say its standard shell damage is 138, but who gives a flying fuck? It's not 138. It's way lower than that. Anyway, with its aiming time of 1.9 seconds, it's just what makes it perfect from firing on the move. Even though that's its accuracy at 100 meters at 40, its aiming time is still pretty damn good, even if you have to stop or you get your tracks blown off. And it gets 9 degrees of gun depression as well, which is not bad at all for a rear-mounted tank. I mean, come on. You normally get like 5 degrees gun depression on a rear-mounted tank, wouldn't you? I don't know. The Chinese tanks, the front-mounted type Chinese tanks seem to have less than that. That's because Chinese tanks are the happiest in the game. Haha, I'm funny, get me the hell out of here. So, we'll move on to the armour. Well, there's not really much to go on armour. Yeah, 31 to 51 millimeters of armour, the strongest armour you will come across. And it's at the front of the turret, on the mantlet, and pretty much guarding the transmission. Upper glacis, and the rest of the tank, yeah. There's just no point looking at armour thickness on a light tank. It's a light tank for a reason. So that's pretty much the comprehensive review from the Stinger. You know, it's not as highly detailed as you can, as I can make it. I don't give myself a 10 out of 10 on reviews. And yeah, we'll jump into some games. And what I mean by we'll jump into some games, I'm going to commentate because I seem to do that better. I'd rather just play the game now and commentate on it later than do both at the exact same time, because we could be losing the game and I'll have to go into carry mode, which means I'm just going to be really quiet. So, without further ado, I'll see you out on that battlefield.
We've got enemies incoming. Either take them out or capture their base. Let's go!
So, regular run-of-the-mill, 15v15 on Mountain Pass. Took me a while to remember that. It's you know, your regular tier 8 game as well. I'm just trying to get to the front of the canyon so I can spot any tanks trying to to try and get onto the south flank. I don't spot a lot of enemies, and now I've got the camo net and the binoculars up.
I see one.
There's the motherland. I take a shot and it bounces, given its abysmal penetration. However, he does get tracked, and he ends up saying good game for whatever reason. Oh well. Better luck next time. And then I get spotted by an M4 ravioli. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's called ravioli. It's a ravioli. It's French. I know the ravioli's Italian. Anyway, so I'm gonna fall back now. And remember that ravioli, because he very much will nearly become the end of me. So there's a T-28 prototype over on the bridge, and the KV-4, Scorpion G and artillery are about to give him the 1-2-3. Wait for it.
They found us.
Wait for it. He's not even looking at me. KV-4, Scorpion G, artillery. Ah, back to the garage you go, prototype. That's what you get for never reaching the production stage. So coming back to where I originally was, could be the motherland I spotted earlier. There's the ravioli. And I've pushed forward, and I'm now taking shots at the KV-4 and the Scorpion G on the hilltop behind me. I'm contemplating. There's a T-44 over there as well. Eventually he is going to drop down. There's no... Remember that OI that I was just looking at. So there goes the motherland. Good shot by the KV-4. This is where I decided to go full retard. This isn't what you do in the Stinger, just for future reference. So the OI's just wiped out our T-44. So that goes into the tracks of the Churchill, who I don't know why he's trying to come up here. I know heavy tanks are designed to take the shots, but if you're tier 6 in a tier 8, that's not going to get you anywhere. So he's dead. And this is where I decide to go full retard. Ravioli's looking straight at me. I bounced the T-44. Very good shot from artillery there, damaging the gun of the Ravioli. T-44 damages me, Ravioli damages me. I try to finish the Ravioli off, and I miss. T-44 fires at me, misses. Ravioli is dead. T-44 is dead. All I had to do really was just stay there. Didn't have to go forward. But oh well. Retards will be retards. It's not like I'm showcasing you the very first game or the very second game I had in this machine.
Focus on this location.
As what I attempted to do last time. So I think that a lot of enemy vehicles are down here now. Remember that OI? Well, he's about. There we go. It's just popped up on screen at C4. Just killed the KV4. And I've noticed him, and I'm like, hang on a minute. That is a heavy tank. And it's just about this moment I properly noticed him when he had just vanished. I'm like, yeah, no one's in a position to do anything about that. I may be at 26 hit points or 28, approximately 20. But someone's got to light him up. And this is where artillery just
Enemy knows our location.
I have no words. You think you're trying to get the upper hand on America again, are you? Freedom, motherfucker! From full health, just deleted. It's like that was just.
Our artillery has been destroyed.
And then he gets counter-barraged by the enemy artillery. Nevertheless, that was a good game for artillery there. Very good tactical deletion of that OI as well.
Focus on this location.
So now moving on, we have a T-150, a T-54 first prototype I think, and the M40-43. T-150 is not going to do much in this game. You know, he's tier 6. He still has a gun and he still has ammo. He can do some damage, but it's not going to be enough. He's not going to have the hit points. There he is, ready to defend the caps. Oh, set off. Okay. Well, yeah, he's out.
Enemy spotted.
There's artillery. And put this incredible rate of fire to use by putting him out of his misery as fast as possible. And there you go. And the T-54 is not playing. Fancy that. He's AFK. I don't think he even played this game to begin with. If he was playing, he could have had a very good impact on the enemy team's contribution to the game, but I guess not anymore. We'll never know. And that was the first game in the Stinger. So from the last game, you can see that the Stinger does not perform well when its exposure to enemy fire is too high.
We've got enemies incoming. Either
However,
take them out or capture their base.
sometimes,
Let's go.
in games like this, you just have to expose yourself to enemy fire. So here on Swamp, we've got a 7v7. These are my favourite games, in my opinion. You know, as a team, there are more mistakes you can make. If you're in a 15v15,
What are you doing? This isn't a boat.
if you're in a 15v15 and your team just loses so horribly, it's highly unlikely that you're going to be able to carry against, say, 10 tanks or even 13. You know, you can get those games. Being in a 7v7, if all of your teammates are dead and it's just you against 7 tanks, it's possible. You know, I'm not saying that it's easier. It all depends on the type of tanks you're up against, the tank you're in, and the players you're up against. So, anyway.
We've been detected.
There's an SU-100 who had just wiped out our flak bus after our flak bus had fired, given away his position, and taken out the enemy T-28. Here I am, hiding behind the building, trying to break line of sight with him. I have broken line of sight with him. However, I've just realised artillery is on the enemy team, and I'm trying to make 6th Sense go away, so properly break line of sight. Artillery very narrowly misses. Thankfully it's French, thankfully it's tier 4. I fire, miss. Fire, hit him. He would have reloaded by now anyway, I think, given French artillery. Not very good splash radius, but a good rate of fire. But he's running,
The enemy knows our location.
and he's dead, thanks to the impressive fire on the move accuracy of this machine. Now, up north, that's where pretty much every single enemy tank is. They've already wiped out, they've wiped out everyone, all of the tank destroyers up north, leaving just me and 2 tier 5 French heavy tanks, the BDRs, or I think enemy STRV, the tier 6 medium tank, a very decent threat in this game. It's just committed suicide. The SU-100 gave me a lot of problems. I had to go balls to the wall against him multiple times. This was the first time. I had to take him on. But look what he does. Just destroys James May's shed again. Good on you, SU-100. So I'm just punishing him for that. And he manages to break line of sight with me again. Well, he tries to break line of sight with me as I did with him. And now I'm thinking, yeah, okay, the rest of the enemy team are going to be arriving very soon. Ball to the wall, and he misses. Doesn't matter if I bounce that. Doesn't matter if I bounce that again, because I'm going to out-reload him. I'm going to out-traverse him, especially now that he's got a destroyed damaged engine. There we go. SU-100, gone. This just leaves the Panzer 5-4, the Ram Panzer, a T-34 and a T-37. This is where it gets interesting, because the Ram Panzer has very good carry potential. You know, it's a bloody Panther. And here I am, sitting in the cap circle, attempting to draw them out. The 2 BDRs are currently at F4. They are heading towards our position, but the Panther has found me first. It's a Panther, shut the fuck up. And I haven't got a clue how he's missing all these shots. So I'm currently unloading into him with premium, because I don't want to take any chances, and then the BDR finishes him off.
Enemies got us in their sights.
However, I'm still being targeted.
We're taking the enemy base.
That T-30, and I think it's that T-37. But no, it's the T-34. I do not fear a T-34. And I also don't fear that T-37 on 6 hit points. The BDR finishes off the T-34, I finish off the T-37, effectively winning the game.